Hello, friends. So, I was sitting by my lonesome contemplating what video I should make to entertain all my new fans. And I said to myself, the kids, they love when you make videos ranking arbitrary things. So today, I'm going to rank things that I learned getting my computer science degree, at least so far. I'm not done with it yet. We're almost there, though. Alright, so first up, the C programming language. C is an absolutely beautiful language to program in. If you disagree with me, you're wrong, and you probably work in like a boring office space where you need to do objects and just shuffle papers around. It's still useful. You can still use it. My gut tells me to put it at A, but my heart tells me to put it at S. And you always got to listen to your heart. Next up, calculus. This is super lame to learn, but once you know it, you feel like a crazy smart mathematician, especially when you need to actually use it for things. But you don't really use it that much in this field, but when you do, you feel great, so we're just going to have to put that in B tier. Next up, college football. If you're not good at talking to people, especially meatheads like me, just learn how to talk about college football. It's so easy. And it's very entertaining because if you're a meathead like me, you love the senseless violence of it and also the thrills. Ooh, now we're going to have to put that in A tier. Because next up is college basketball. This is like college football for more cream of the crop individuals who enjoy intellectual conversations and sipping on fine wine. So that's going to go right up there with C programming language. Next up is Linux, and I'm going to sound like someone who weighs 300 pounds heavier than myself, but I really like Linux. It's a great computer system, network program computer. Great way of running things. I love good new Linux, and typing my little commands into my terminal makes me feel smart. Next up, binary trees, specifically binary search tree here. These gave me my first wet dream, so we're going to have to put that in S. It's the most beautiful data structure in its simplicity and everything, and especially all the variants. You got like red-black trees and splay trees especially. Right after binary search trees is just straight up normal binary. Yes, this is hexadecimal, shoot me. This is another kind of thing where you're not really using it the majority of the time, but when you do need to use it, you feel like a really smart, really cool guy. So we're going to have to put that right there next to calculus and give them a little bit of space. Java, look, we've all got jokes about how, verbose and boilerplate and boring and slow Java is. But look, guys, at the end of the day, it deserves all the hate, so it's going to go right into E tier. Next up, philosophy. Now, I know you're going to expect me to dog on philosophy as an engineering, computer science, mathematics kind of person, but I think philosophy is incredibly important, not very profitable, unless you're going to law, I guess. But just because of the novelty and coolness of being able to learn it, especially Plato and all of his theories, we're going to have to put that at A. Next up, recursion. This is actually my second take of doing this video because I didn't like how I put recursion in C the first time, because it's absolutely crucial when you need to say walk a tree. So walk a tree, traverse a tree. So we're just going to have to put that in C tier. Next up, titrations. Now, I ended up taking 2 levels of chemistry. That was entirely on accident. I only needed to take 1 and then just another kind of natural science. And in second level chemistry, I did a lot of titrations. I did a lot with acids and bases, and I absolutely hated every single second of it. And just in honor of that, instead of putting it in E tier, we're going to rename E tier to titration tier. Sorry to all my chemist friends, but titration sucks objectively. Okay, next up is beer. Now, beer, it's really cool because it does taste like pee, but it's also really good at helping me embarrass myself. So we're going to go ahead and put that in B. Alright, next up, finite automata. Sorry to people who get a kick out of this, but this is so boring. The class that you take to learn this stuff, you pretty much just learn this and then a different version of this and then an even, slightly different version of that, and it's called a Turing machine, and it's so unbelievably boring, just straight up intuitive, that it's just going to end up in D tier. Alright, next up, algorithm efficiency. I didn't really know how to draw that out. I just sort of went from a summation to a closed form because this is, big O of n versus constant time. I love algorithms and efficient algorithms, so that's definitely 100% going to go into S. If you're in computer science just to learn programming, you're gonna be loving that stuff too. Hash tables. Now, you guys would expect me to rate these higher than trees because they are provably faster than trees, but I just don't like them. This is complete bias. That's going in C tier. I just don't like them. They waste so much memory. It feels like you're cheating using them. But I digress. Onwards, we have barbell squatting. I learned how to properly barbell squat in college. It's great for my legs, but it kind of hurts my back sometimes. So we're gonna put that right next to hash tables. Next up is cryptography. This one's kind of sad because I do really like cryptography, but in essence, now we have such good cryptographical standards that we really don't need to make much better ones, except for asymmetric encryption, but that's a whole nother tangent. There's not, once you have a pretty good cryptographic algorithm, most of your security comes from you just not being a dumbass, so we're gonna have to put that in C tier. 8086 assembly. This is sad because I do kind of like it, but at least for the stuff that I like, it's really not that useful. It's just, how to program at the absolute lowest level. I don't want to put it in D tier, but it's probably not as useful as the stuff in C tier. So I'm just going to kind of wedge in between. No, I'm going to dedicate a D tier. I hate people that can't come up with a tier to put things in. I know you guys feel the same. Next up, statistics. This is barely useful, but just because of how cool and awesome it is, it's going to go in C tier. You actually use that a lot in computer networking, which is next. That's my specialty. Do I even need to say that's going in S tier? But statistics, you actually use that in computer networking to sort of calculate, is this an optimal path? How often are we going to be dropping packets, just kind of cool stuff like that, because the world of computer networking is very probabilistic if your package is actually going to get delivered on time. Alright, next up, electromagnetic physics. If this was your thing, that's great, more power to you. I thought this was just super boring, waste of time. That's just D. Last up, I just kind of got this silly joke. It's not even a funny joke. You know what? I'm putting myself in titration tier for that joke. But Vim itself, I don't really like Vim. I'd rather program in Notepad, not even Notepad++, just normal Notepad than program in Vim. Because I can't use my cursor. I can't point at things. So we're just gonna have to put that in D tier as well. I hope you liked the video where I arbitrarily rate things. Have a nice evening.